Hello guys, welcome back to my channel ish. My name is Art, and thank you for listening to my insane rants. That sometimes makes sense. Okay, this is the 4th of July weekend. This is Sunday. I just got back home this morning. I just saw the new Spider-Man movie, Far From Home. Loved it. Had everything I liked in the movie, which is great. But my twin nieces, they finally left. They finally left yesterday, so I can finally get some sleep and all sorts of stuff. Okay. Now, one of the things the reason why I'm talking today, I want to talk about patriotism. Okay, now this is a very touchy subject for a lot of people because a lot of us really don't know what patriotism is, or we know about it, but we don't recognize it. So let me look at the definition of patriotism. Patriotism is the quality of being patriotic, devotion to and rigorous support for one's country. What does it really mean? It's exaltation of national eminence, typically expressed as power over other nations, and an emotional attachment to the nation that one originates from. There are many ways in which people feel patriotism, and there are so many different ideas of what it means to be patriotic. Okay? Now think about that. Basically, patriotism is a love in one's country. And how you show that love is a difference of opinion. Now, here's where the rub is. Given the the political climate of America right now, because next year we're about to try to either one, keep Donald Trump for another 4 years, or kick him out, have someone new. During the debates, the Democratic Party, the debates, none of them had American pins. Okay, none of them had pins of America, of the flag. Now the funny thing was, for me, trying to be the president of the United States is one of the most patriotic things you can actually try to do, because you love your country so much that you think that what's going on is wrong and you want to try to right the course in a way. But a lot of conservatives was complaining that they didn't have a pin of the flag. They didn't have a pin of the flag. So you can tell they don't care about America. But the funny thing is how it doesn't matter how you show your patriotism. To me, patriotism, I love my country. I was born in Detroit. I love America. America is the greatest country in the world. But when people talk about MAGA, I feel very offended by it. I feel very offended by it because America is a great country. And you trying to tell me that my country's not great, even though it has problems, I don't think you're that much of an American. That's in my own personal opinion. But the thing is, everybody has different opinions, right? So, so what happened was I looked up and one of my friends, he's a Trumper. He's not only conservative, but he's a Trumper. And he was talking about MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. And I said, hey, come on, stop that. But wait, I said, hold on a second. I feel offended by that. And what happened, his whole family was around too. I said, wait, hold on a second. Before you say anything, just hold on a second. Hear me out. Number one, I was born in Detroit, which is in the United States of America, right? Right. I love my country to death. I couldn't serve in the military because they felt there's a certain term they use, but I can't remember. But I was not compliable to their needs. In other words, I can't. I think for myself too much. I can't give out control. I'm a detriment to the country, whatever. America is a, to me, is the greatest country in the world. This is the greatest country in the world. And everybody, and all of them say, yeah, yeah, you're right, you're right. This is the greatest country in the world. But for when you decide to make America great again, when it's already the greatest country in the world, that tells me that you think this country sucks. The country is not great. Well, it's no, no, no. Think about it. Think about it. You just agreed to me that this is the greatest country in the world, but you just now said it's not a great country. And then he had to step back and say, hmm, but this country's not the greatest at the moment. I said, well, hold on a second. What's the difference between greatest and great? It's a difference of opinion. Now, true, this is your place, and you can say MAGA all you want, but if I'm offended by you saying MAGA, because to me, you're telling me my country sucks, which is the same country you live in. I think it's great. You telling me it sucks. So there's a difference of opinion here. So so basically, what you're telling me by saying MAGA is that America's not a great country. And funny thing is, and one of them said, he kind of does have a point. He kind of does have a point because if we saying that America's the greatest country in the world, making America great. But the funny thing is, make America great. If you look at the history of our country, America was great for only one particular, only for a certain segment of the population at any given time. Before the Pilgrims immigrated to America, it was great for the Native Americans. America was great for the Native Americans. Pilgrims come by, they took their land, they do all this stuff. We all know the history. So guess what? For those people, they were great. For the Native Americans, America wasn't so great. My ancestor comes in and change, so America wasn't really great for me. For my ancestors. So, I mean, what are you talking about? But then again, that's their sense of patriotism. For me, patriotism is paying taxes. So when I hear companies, American companies that don't pay taxes, I get kind of offended. How can you say you love America and you operate in America and you originate from America, but you don't want to pay American taxes? That boggles my mind. But like I said, this is my way of thinking. Sorry. Stupid allergies. Oh, funny thing is like YouTube, everybody wants to look perfect. I don't really care. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Out. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, everybody always had to look perfect on YouTube. I don't care. I'm not a perfect person. I don't look perfect. I don't sound perfect. And I don't taste perfect. But anyway, getting back to patriotism. So what happened was, that's just an example. So every morning I go out to dinner, breakfast, pretty much, except for sometimes on weekends. And what happened is there's a contingent of elderly gentlemen who go there and they're very, very hardcore conservative. And they always rag on me for being a liberal. And so what I just said about MAGA, I said it to them. And they had to stop and think. And the thing is, if they were smart and using their brains, they had to stop and think. Hmm. So here's a question: here's a question: Do I have to dress up in American colors to prove I'm a patriot? To prove that I love America? Do I have to do that? I don't. We all do things in our certain ways. Tell you the truth, there's a lot of people who are very patriotic but don't like what America is doing. There's a lot of people who are very patriotic to America, but they don't like the way how their ancestors were brought up here or their family was dealt with here. There's all these kinds of things. So, I mean, number one, let's look at it this way. There's no right way or wrong way to show how patriotic you really are. There's no one way to do that. I mean, so I look up and it's like, do you really? So okay, so here I say, all you guys coming here every day. You guys coming here pretty much every day. You think I'm not a patriot? Okay. You think I don't like America? I pay my taxes. That proves I love America because I like America to run. I think everybody should pay their fair share in taxes. That helps America run. Now, if you say, well, unfair tax, if you talk about unfair taxation, let's look at it this way. Taxes help America, the country runs. So if you want to so I'm not saying, I say fair taxation. So what happens when you starve the country? You're not as patriotic as you claim. In my opinion, you're not as patriotic as you claim you are. Okay. It doesn't matter how much this person pays or whatnot, but it's just paying taxes. When I see when I hear about an American company that don't pay taxes, to me that's not patriotic. And you let them do this? That's not a patriot. That's not showing patriotism to your love of one country. Does it? I mean, because if they were, look at all those businesses that don't pay tax. What measures they did? They'll help America, the country, run better. The one percenters, if they paid their fair share in taxes. Now, when I say fair share, there's a difference in what I'm saying. One, no matter what, based on your income, you're going to pay more money. Like, for example, I pay more money in taxes than someone who makes $10,000 a year. Think about it. I pay more money in taxes than someone. My income range is between $50,000 to $100,000, depending on how much I want to work. I would pay more money in taxes than someone who makes $10,000 a year. So a millionaire will pay more money in taxes than me a year. But the thing is, all of my income is taxed. The poor person, that person makes 10,000, all their income is taxed. So how come the rich, not all of their income is taxed? That's what we call fair taxation. To me, stopping that is not patriotic. But then again, like I said, you can't. There's a difference in the way how you show it. Everybody has a different viewpoint of what a patriotism is. And the idea is that when you show that point, people flip. Because I had these old guys rolling theirs. They were like hot. How dare you say this? I said, hold on a second. When I hear you talk about MAGA this and MAGA that, to me, that's offensive. It's offensive because you're saying that our country is not a great country. And they look up and say, and if you're so-called patriotism, you're supposed to love your country. So you're not going to admit that this is not a great country. But by using the slogan of MAGA, you're saying America's not your country that you love is not a great country. And what happened? People was like, dang, whoa, I didn't think about that. Whoa. So the old fogey conservatives, they got quiet for a second. I said, okay, I'll finish my breakfast. You can make fun of me in a minute. And what happened was the owner, he immigrated to America. He was born in Albania. He came to America the legal way, built up he worked his ass off, saved the money, build a business, build a restaurant. That's how I knew him for like almost 20 something years. And then again, he looked over, he goes, and he's a conservative. He was like, man, you told them off. And he goes, and he started ribbing and said, this liberal just schooled you. And then again, so one of the old guys goes, you know what, guy, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're right. You know why? Because you're right. Because the fact that you think we got caught up. Okay, and I'm saying, okay, fine. Look, I don't care what you support. I don't care what you support. But my viewpoint is just as liable, just as valuable as yours. So if you think America's not a great country, okay, I can't stop you from changing that. But to me, America's the greatest country in the world. And that's how I show my patriotism, by doing the right things. No, I don't have to wear red, white, and blue to prove that. Okay, I don't have to. Regardless of how I feel about the Star Spangled Banner, or whether I care about the Pledge of Allegiance, the Star Spangled Banner I don't really care about. I don't care too much about the controversy of the flag. I'm not too. I mean, to me, the flag is just a symbol. But the thing is it sacred? To some people, it is. It's super sacred. To me, it's not as sacred, but I respect it. And that's what we should be doing. We should be respecting other people, not only because of what they look like, how they talk, how they dress, but it's because that's a basic American thing to do. When I hear about these white nationalists, I look up and I was like, oh gosh, you make America look bad. The black nationalists, you make America look bad. Any other so-called nationalists, you make us look bad because you're going against what we look at. And of course, the way how America thinks changes. Just like for example, what you're thinking right now, it's not the same way you thought of when you was 10 years old or even 20. Well, let's say for example, if you're like I'm in my mid 40s. My way of thinking is different than when I was 10 or 15 or even 20. It evolves. And so what happens, the country evolves as well, and the way how we think is evolving, always evolving. So with that going on, if you like what I talk about, subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down. Comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let's have a discussion. Now with that, I'm going to sweat out the rest of my Sunday and do some cleaning, because my entertainment center is dusty as all hell. Talk to you later.